Just like how being a Pilates princess is not going to grow your glutes, manifestation methods are just going to make you more obsessed of the fact that you're not seeing results in your life, okay? Prayer and your relationship with God should be your priority if you actually want to improve your life, okay? Let go of control and let God guide you in life, okay? Welcome back to Anna is Random. That was a very intense intro. I'm very well aware. This is going to be a video on a topic that I have not talked about on my channel at all. I think I may have mentioned my Christianity here and there, on and off, but today we are focusing on one topic and one topic in particular, and that is manifestation and the whole, as the title of this video suggests, the manipulation method is kind of what I call it. Now, this is going to be a nuanced discussion. If you're here just to go and like leave me some hate comments about being a Christian, then this is not the channel for you, this is not the video for you. Come back when you're ready to have an open and honest discussion about spirituality and how we can healthily use that in our lives, okay? And for the Christian girlies out there, I'm sure you're going to agree with some of the things that I have to say, and you're probably going to disagree with some of the things that I have to say, but again, this is a nuanced discussion. I really want to talk about this topic because we can use these manifestation methods in our lives to a certain extent, but to try and just use them purely out of trying to control and manipulate the way our lives go and like the world is going to revolve around us, like that's when it becomes toxic, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about my relationship with these kind of things and my relationship with God and how I've come to really enjoy prayer and speaking to God and really building that trust and that friendship the way that we should all be. And then we're also going to be talking a bit about the kind of methods that you can incorporate into your life, into spirituality, in a way that still has God at the heart of it and God in mind. So if you're ready for this video, let's dive right in. Now, as I say, the title of this video is something along the lines of the manipulation method and why it doesn't work, okay? Because it doesn't. If you're trying to do all of these things that you've seen on social media to try and sort of like gain a sense of control and again just like try and get the world to revolve around you, you're doing it wrong, and in a way you're making yourself feel worse, give yourself more anxiety, and you're also being brainwashed by social media influencers that only really want your money. Like, let's be honest here. And if you're being influenced by these kind of people, then yeah, I will say they only want your money. If they're making these videos and also promoting some kind of course and that's kind of their whole personality, then yeah, they just want your money. They are stealing your money. They are not out for your greater good, period. Now, I was brought up a Christian. I'm in my church choir. I've been going since I was born. But it took me until I was the age of 17 until I really started to have a relationship with God and really talk to God and start to embrace the spiritual sides of my religion. And there is a video on my channel, I think it's in my mental health video, where I explain the circumstances and sort of the story of how that happened, because it was a case of one of my friends at the time was in a crisis situation, and basically I was praying really for the first time in church and I felt God for the first time. And since then, it's really been building up my intuition, really praying with God and working on that friendship. And I called it a friendship in the beginning of this video, and that's really what it is. And like any friendship, there needs to be a trust that is built, okay? God, and I'm gonna say God, I'm not gonna say the universe, because the universe is God, right? And we should just be saying God and not the universe. God is only going to give you what you desire and what he knows that you need and deserve to be given in order to fully thrive in this life if you have put your trust in him. And the only way you can build that trust and work on that is through prayer and through giving up that control of your anxieties or kind of your worries about your goals. And if you say to God, these are my goals, this is what I want to do in life, this is what I want to, use this time on this earth to give back to people, if you say that to him, you have to just release that then. However, there are ways that you can sort of enforce this and sort of help God know exactly what you want. So personally, you'll see in the back, that is my vision board, and I've got a few sort of around it that link it in, and I've been doing my vision boarding and the visualization sort of techniques for quite a few years now, and the way that I incorporate that more into religion instead of trying to be drawn in by the manifestation type influences on social media, which by the way, a few years ago I was fully taken in by those because I was in a really low place in my life, which again is something they also prey on, is the vulnerable people who have a lot of anxiety, who are in a really low place in life, and again they just want to steal your money. I am going to hammer that point home. And also, I'm not saying this like purely from from an outsider's perspective, okay? I listened into a certain quite popular influencer in the kind of the manifestation, the spiritual space. I listened into one of her kind of talk class things, at least I think it was the introduction of one, and she literally said nothing. It was like a pre-recorded video where she was acting like it was a live stream, being like, yeah, like we're seeing all yays in the chat and stuff, and it was all fake. All of it was fake. And to be fair, I've seen that with all of her videos, like from that point now, it's just been like, you are so fake. You are so not for the people. So when I talk bad about these people, basically saying that they're out for your money and they're not out to actually help you, I'm saying that from experience because I've seen the fakery that goes on. But yeah, the one thing I do actually support is when people say, you know, get detailed about your goals and your desires. And I talked about this, I think, in a previous video, not that long ago, when it comes to dating. And I said, because I'd made a list of all of the things that my future husband like it should have, right? And it was really detailed. And I've said this in my content, not just on here but on Instagram as well, is that when you get really detailed about these things, not only does it narrow your gaze and will help to filter out kind of the wrong people and the people who aren't from God, but also it tells God, it's like, hey, this is what I want, and you know, if you can bring this type of person to me, that would be really good. And you'll find a lot of the time when you're writing these lists and you're thinking back, at least that's how it should feel, right? A lot of those desires and a lot of those traits should feel like they are coming from God anyway, which is kind of how you know that they're genuine. And this is going back to kind of how you build your intuition up as well, which is something that I've really tried to focus on over the past few years. And knowing when to kind of feel God in your body and where you can feel him is such an important step. And going back to kind of the Pilates thing that I was talking about at the beginning of this video, you know, it's like when we say, you know, yeah, it's okay that you go to Pilates or you do your hot girl walks at certain points like in your cycle, because of course as women, you know, we're not gonna be able to like lift like that heavy at certain points of our cycle, right? Because that's just how we move. And it's the same thing with the manifestation stuff, is that some methods like doing the visualization and vision boarding is okay. It's just when you're trying to like write notes down and like sleep with them under your pillow and like do like spells and things is when it goes too far. Because at the end of the day, you're going to feel so much better if you, again, just release that control, like just have some trust in God. That is really what it comes down to, is trust. But like if you really just let your anxieties go and tell God your desires and then just trust that that's going to come to you, and don't do any of the mumbo jumbo that social media will say that you have to do, it's just gonna make your life so much less filled with stress and anxiety, trust me. And it's also gonna keep you so much more humble as well, you know? All these people who are obsessed with the stars and like the moon cycles as well, if you ever actually met any of those people, like the really die-hard ones, they're so arrogant and so full of themselves because they think they can control everything, and that's just not how the world works. That's not how God intended the world to be. And yes, he has influence in the world and everyone's lives, and you really have to surrender to that guidance, because the one person who has your best interests at heart as much as yourself is God. Especially because we're in Lent at the moment as well. Like, this should be such a priority for everyone, focusing more on prayer and our relationships with God, because Lent is a time of that spirituality. You know, as much as we all have busy lives, sometimes we have to make sacrifices, and time is one of those where we should just be setting some sort of time every single day, and we should be doing this anyway, but especially during Lent, like we set aside a time every single day where we can just sit and be alone with God. So if you're sat there and you've been doing a load of the manifestation methods I've been talking about, you know, and you're wondering why you're not seeing results in your life, first of all, step away from social media, because again, that's 9 times out of 10 not gonna help you. Again, they're out for your money. They're gonna sell you some kind of course that's actually not gonna help you, and all you need to do is just sit down. Like, you can sit alone in your room or whatever. Like, if you, like, for instance, I have color changing lights. Like, if you have like LEDs or whatever, sometimes like it's better for mindset if you like change the color of the light in your room or something, just to like help you get into more like a Zen mindset. And just sit and say to God and be like, I welcome you in. I welcome in your influence, I'm ready to be guided by you, and then start to just have a conversation with him about your goals and your desires and what you're frustrated about in life at the moment and what you want to change and the type of people that you want to surround yourself with, or just things like that. Just have a good conversation with God about your life goals. One thing I will say as well is when you start to talk to God more, you are going to start seeing way more signs in your life of his influence. And this is something that I started to see, especially when I started to pray more back in my late teens, and still to this day, was I started to see signs. And I'm going to talk about dating here because I know we all want to talk about dating, and a lot of the stuff that people say is like, do this method to get this person to text you, like if you want to get your ex back or something, which is toxic, and that's a whole other conversation for a completely different video. When it comes to when you incorporate God into these things, you know, he is going to keep guiding you back to the people you either need to learn a lesson from or are meant to be in your life. So for instance, for me, when I first started doing it, I started seeing people's names. There was this one person in my life that I kept talking to God about, and I just kept seeing his name everywhere. And to this day, a lot of the signs that I'm doing a good thing, or like I'm doing well in life, is angel numbers. I know it is kind of a controversial thing because, you know, when it comes to spirituality and these kind of things, some people are kind of naysayers, but when you see it and you know it's from God, you know it's from God. So for instance, my angel numbers have kind of changed over the years, but for some reason 3-3 or just 3 or 3-3-3 has been kind of the main combination. That and 11-11 and like the 1-1-1 kind of thing have been the main combination of numbers that I've seen in my life. So 3-3-3 and 11-11, and that's kind of the signs from God that I'm doing the right thing, that things are going well, that I'm making the right decisions. And again, this has not come from any kind of manifestation method where I've like written this stuff down, and trust me, I've been messy, I have done that in the past, and I can tell you now, it did jack shit. So please stop writing love letters from your crush to yourself and like expecting it to work because you slept with it under your pillow for 3 days. Like, please stop. Now, if you want me to make any other kind of video about my relationship with religion and God and spirituality and all this kind of stuff, then please give this video a like and leave your suggestions in the comments. Also, if you have like a similar relationship to me where you've become really frustrated with seeing all the manifestation stuff on social media and you want to see change and you want to see more of a push for people to believe in God and trust in him, also leave all of your thoughts in the comments about that. If you follow any kind of the spiritual techniques and methods that I mentioned in this video as well, then also leave that in the comments. You know, I want to know kind of what things have actually worked for you and have brought you closer to God and further away from kind of the egotistical and the arrogant side of spirituality. How did you kind of stop trying to control every aspect of your life and was able to finally surrender to God? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit of a rant. It was a bit of a weird thing, you know. I don't normally make these kind of videos, but yeah, this was a topic that I really wanted to talk about because I am really passionate about it, and I really want to know kind of what you think in the comments. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of my videos. Also, make sure to follow me on all my social media, names of which will be, as always, at the end of this video. And yeah, again, just leave all your suggestions and thoughts in the comments. Good luck out there, and make sure you're saying your prayers tonight. And I will see you guys in my next video.